Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
Let me tell you about today's guest. 8 times on BET's Comic View. Take this in. NBC's Comics Unleashed. You know Comics Unleashed. Cars. Any thoughts? Comedy Central's Laugh-A-Palooza with Jamie Foxx, the winner of the She-Devil Comedy Festival. My goodness. Pat Brown.
Pat Brown.
How you
I
doing?
am here. I am great. Thank you guys for having me.
What if it wasn't you?
And you said somebody else's name?
Right. Is the show, Byron Allen does Comics Unleashed, right?
Yes, he does.
And you guys really are unleashed. And so it's 4 comedians sitting around. Byron out. Does Byron try? Does he even try?
He doesn't have to. He's so rich. He does not even have to try.
He got the formula.
Yeah, he does. His mom had been in showbiz for a long time, and so he just kind of walked into it. But he figured out a niche early as a young man, and no, he doesn't need to try. Not at all.
He had a lot of shows. I think. Does he still have the entertainers? He would interview. He interviews celebrities, and at the end of every interview, without exaggeration, he asks them to put him in their movie. And he's not, and they try to laugh it off, like, yeah, we'll have to talk. He's like, no, and he keeps this all on air. He's like, no, I'm completely serious. Here's my card, and I'm going to be in Burbank on this day. And they're like, okay, great to see you.
Wouldn't that be so funny? But like if Danny did it,
yeah,
you know, like that's because he would intentionally, you know, be like, this is hilarious.
I think he's actually a little serious about that, but he's such a dry human being. He really is. So I don't think anybody was going to put him in anything. But it was so funny though. The day I did Comics Unleashed, I went behind stage and saw some of my other friends taping, and I'm sitting there. There's like 3 other people. An older woman was there, and I'm looking at the screen. I'm looking at Byron Allen, and I was like, oh my God, he laughs like a serial killer. And then everybody in the room laughs, but it was like a hearty laugh, but it was like a nervous laugh, and I couldn't figure it out. So I was leaving, and the older woman said, hey, I really enjoyed your set. I'm Byron Allen's mother. I was like, I laughed my ass off. I was like, I'm sorry, but your son does have a serial killer laugh. She said, I know, it was funny.
Do you guys ever feel like fucking with Byron? Like he'll say, the Middle East, so true. And Pat, being a mother, thoughts? And you just be like, I have no thoughts on that. I want to talk about the weather today. Yeah,
it's so formulaic, and it's so awful as a comic because because it is like it's a script almost that he's making your material, but it's television, so you got to be ready when
it doesn't make it. It would seem like if you didn't know, it would seem like why don't comics like to just say their material? You know the question that's coming up. You know the material is going to land beautifully.
Because the way he sets it up is not organic.
Right. You have thoughts on cheese parties.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and then is it hard?
Why you brought it up? Right. I absolutely do.
Is it hard not to literally stand up? Like, okay.
To do your act?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely it is. And actually those people that aired really well were those people that jumped up, stood up.
Oh, really?
And the camera goes to anything that is moving and active, and so Andre,
did you consider doing it?
Everybody else was doing it, so I thought by sitting there I would be different.
That's fair.
Yeah, everybody was doing it.
Andre who?
Eric Andre was on my show, and
well, he can't sit. Come on.
Yeah, he damn near got naked on my show. And then I was George Wallace on my show, and George Wallace cannot shut the fuck up. So I would have those people to contend with, and you're trying to get your moment.
He's interrupting your story.
Yes, and adding on and making my story out to be a better story. I was like, there wasn't a bear in there. Thank you, George Wallace. That made it even better. And the bear had a gun. Yeah, go ahead with it. Tell me how it ends.
And then you start clapping for him.
Exactly. I was like, this dude is great. I didn't know I was a writer for him.
Right. Shout out to my new story.
Exactly. With a different ending. It's great.
I heard you have an album coming out.
I do. I'm so proud of it.
It'll be on your website, comedianpatbrown.com. It's called The Pat Brown Sex Tape.
The Pat Brown Sex Tape, yeah.
But there's not nudity per se.
Per se.
Right.
Actually, what I equate the sex tape to is when you're really a good comic, I think you are vulnerable on stage. You expose yourself, you reveal yourself to connect to people. And then, therefore, when you connect it, then you're able to satisfy them and please them.
It's just like a blowjob. Absolutely. I feel that way about a blowjob every time.
I don't really have that experience, but I'm sure it is, George Wallace. I'm sure it's like that at all. And there was a bear.
My bear had a dildo, but you tell this better. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, so that's why I call it the Pat Brown sex tape. And people blow up. They plan to blow up off these sex tapes. So why not a comedy album off that same thing?
I heard a track about how people, and I'm starting to get it more and more now too. When are you going to have kids? This kind of thing. Do you ever think have a kid just out of spite, like fuck it up, and then go, see, I'm trying to tell you I'm the worst. What keeps making you think I'm the best?
At least 1 billion people that have done that. They have a child out of spite. Fuck this kid. I only did it for you. You take care of it, America.
I walk around on the street.
I just didn't want to be a weirdo.
Do you ever see weirdos on the street and think, like, what if that was my kid? Like,
No, because I know how to not have. I just won't have it.
Right.
Nope. What if that was my kid? It never can be. Bye.
Yeah. But doesn't the weirdo on the street have parents? So a parent is saying, that is my weirdo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is my.
I guess you just don't talk to him, right?
You know what it is? There's no way my
my father did.
There's no way my kid's not going to be weird. They're going to be weird.
Right.
Right? Like, I'm not going to just be like, go do normal things.
I think that's cool that they weird, though. But you just got to make them feel comfortable in whatever weirdness, because you are weird. Everybody's individually, uniquely, wonderfully weird.
That's what I'm going to tell my imaginary kid.
What were you alluding to? Did your dad not pay attention to you or leave you early?
Oh, no. He stayed. We tried to get him to go.
He wouldn't leave.
He wouldn't. Hey, why don't you go where all those other dads go?
My friends.
Don't worry about the bread. We got bread. We got plenty. No, he stayed. My father was such a family man. He came from a family of 9, and so from Arkansas, and so they lived on a plantation, and they picked cotton. So it was him. Pretty much, they socialized with their family, and so he's always been a family dude and like that. But
Wow, how did you become a comic?
My father's so funny. My father, and he had the best laugh ever. He was so fucking funny. Yeah, I don't know if because my mother's funny too, but she's funny in a different way. She's funny like she'll make the silly noises, and she says things funny. My father, it was legitimately. My mother would say things in a funny way. My father would say funny things. So
if they team up, the world's gonna explode.
If they teamed up, it was horrible.
I forgot about that.
He was alcoholic, and she was a church Nazi, for lack of a better word. So I don't know where they met, maybe at communion. But they just had different ways of living. She wanted always to go out and be out with people, and he liked to stay home and whatever and drink. And so,
Was the drinking ever a problem?
Ever a problem? Not for him.
Right.
That was the easiest thing he did. He was good at it. Yeah, I always say my father had hours. He was a drinker from Monday through Friday, from 6 to 11, and all Saturday and Sunday.
He would clock in.
Yeah, he'd clock in. He was a functional alcoholic, very much so.
Did it ever get violent?
Nah. No. Early on, he was violent, but he wasn't a hitter as much as he was a controller. Like come here, talk to me. He was like that, kind of holding my mom and whatever. But I think as we grew older, he realized that that's not the way that he wanted his kids to see him. Because I remember as a little child, I don't know how old I was. I probably had to be 6 or something like that. He was on top of my mother, and he was screaming at her. And I remember my brother, who's older than me, he took a glass and he threw it atop my father's head.
Over him.
And it crashed. And my father jumped up and he was chasing my brother around. And then he kind of sat down and I guess kind of realized that, you fucking with this little dude's mom. So why wouldn't he try to react?
Wow, that moment of clarity doesn't necessarily happen.
Well, my father was he's a sensitive dude. I mean, he was actually more a mother maternal figure than my mother was in terms of he liked to hug, he liked to kiss you, talk to you, and all that kind of stuff, which is why he was irritating, because he used to do a lot of that when he was drunk. So so yeah, but he was. I mean, he did have these moments of reflection, just not nearly enough. I guess about his issue, his problem.
Did he ever talk to you guys like, hey, look what I?
Oh, he talked to me all the time. I was one of the people that he liked to talk to. I had they felt as though I had a maturity because I was the youngest. I don't know, but they felt I had a maturity, especially him. He would talk to me. So I tell this story. I don't know how to make it funny, but it's true. He always asked me, I think me and your mother argue too much. You think we should get a divorce? He would ask me, and I was like 12. Yeah, and so he kept on asking me. And finally I said, yeah, fine. And so I remember, but I was like, shit, I wanted to be surprised like everybody else. My sister and my brother came like, Mom and Daddy are getting a divorce. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, I approved of that.
It went past my desk.
They're like, Pat, are your parents getting a divorce? I haven't decided yet.
We negotiate some things. But this is how much of a domestic dude was. He wanted us to live with him, and we were like, no, dude, hell no, you can't cook. Your decorating game is terrible. You never take us places. Hell no.
Did he stop ever?
Did he stop drinking?
Yeah.
He did, but he when he stopped drinking, it was because he got cancer, and he had throat cancer, and he stopped drinking, but he could never stop smoking. And that's when I realized smoking how fucking addicted that is.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And he passed?
He passed in 2000.
That's a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you were young.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was actually, I think everybody, because he was suffering, and so everybody wanted it, him not to suffer anymore. But he was a good dude. He just had some issues. He had some basic issues.
Is there a heaven?
No, I don't think there is a heaven. I think we just go back to that recycling bin and you become something else.
What if you come back as a weirdo?
I did that. God, I fucking did that.
People that believe in reincarnation, they always came from kings and queens and dragons. No
Nobody was the janitor. Right. Nobody.
I used to be a pedophile in 1600. I couldn't help it. In another life, I was a princess, but it kind of affected my pedophilism. It's not history.
Nobody ever admits that. That's fucking funny.
There's thousands of years. You weren't a pedophile in one of them? Relax about the past.
Let me mention this, please. Sleep Number beds. I love them. This is why my life is so good. People ask me all the time, why is your life so great? Good sleep. That's what it's all about. What I can do, Pat, is set a sleep number on my side of the bed. And my wife has a different sleep number on her side of the bed.
They have not fought once since they got this bed.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Completely true. In fact,
what number is right down the middle?
That is, so I am a 35. She is a 40. 37 and a half is where my dog lays. Right in the middle. And we have a good time. If we see an argument starting to brew, we jump into bed, solved immediately.
Perfect.
Right. They also have Sleep IQ. What Sleep IQ does is it tells you how you slept last night. It tells you when were you tossing and turning, at what time, and how to adjust your bed so that you will get a perfect night's sleep. Just had a Sleep IQ of 95 out of 100.
I thought Sleep IQ is when the bed tells you when your parents are getting a divorce.
It says,
they're not doing it, so it's probably in the next couple of months.
If your sleep IQ is below 50, they call a therapist for you. It's an amazing bed. Come in during the lowest prices of the season sale, where a Queen Sleep Number C2 mattress is only $699.99. You can't afford another restless night's sleep. You can afford a Sleep Number bed. Sleep Number beds and Sleep IQ technology are only available at any of the 500 Sleep Number stores nationwide. Find one near you by going to sleepnumber.com and be sure to tell them that Keith and the girls sent you.
And see why you wouldn't. Right?
That's when you're a grown-up, when you buy a real bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember bragging when I got a bed for $200.
Yeah.
Everybody was laughing at me. I didn't know any better.
What part of the bed did you get for $200?
Pillow.
That was just a headboard.
It wasn't very comfortable.
When he said he was bragging, he was like, "Look how much I spent."
All right.
Yeah. Yeah. He was shopping at the dumpster.
There was a dude already in it.
Right. Let me mention this. This letter is from Devin, and Devin says, "It happened to me. Every year I hear about people meeting because they wore a Keith and the Girl shirt, sticker, what have you. And every year I forget to wear my shirt. This year I packed for my trip back home and I wore the I Was There tour shirt because, well, I was there.
Yeah, KATG tour.
I actually had forgotten, if you get a time machine, KATG tour. Leave Hitler alone. Everybody has baby Hitler thoughts. Just have fun at our tour from 9 months ago. I actually had forgotten I was wearing the shirt when I heard a bunch of honks coming from a car at a red light. I didn't get a chance to see who was in the car, but I did see the Keith and the Girl bumper sticker on their car as they drove away. So to the honkers in Detroit, Michigan, l'chaim, thanks for honking your way into my heart. Thank you, Keith and Chemda, for all the episodes you continue to put out. With love from a proud VIP member, Devin. Ain't that sweet?
That is so awesome. We have this thing where every July 4th, people wear Keith and the Girl gear out. There's shirts and stickers and things like that. And speaking of the sticker, that's a glow-in-the-dark sticker, and you can get it at whatever price you want, including $0. So keithandthegirl.com/stickers if you want the bumper sticker, and we send a couple other stickers as well.
When I was talking about seeing weirdos on the street, I keep passing my barber, and he says to me, his way of saying hi, "You okay?"
Yeah.
Is that strange?
Yes.
You okay?
Yeah.
And I go, "What?
Right.
You all right?" And I go, "Yeah, why? Who's talking?" He's like, oh, nothing.
What have you heard?
Right. Oh, nothing. I just want to see if everything's good. I'm like, "Yeah, everything's good. Everything okay with you?" "Yeah, another day, man, what are you going to do?" And every day he still does it.
Well, he got you. He gets a conversation all the time.
He goes, "You all right?" And I go, "Yeah, you?" And he goes, "Hey, like almost like he doesn't want small talk now. But he starts it every time with, you okay?"
I think he's worried about your hair.
Somebody wrote me on Facebook and just out of the blue, "You okay, dude?" I go, "What?" He goes, "I'm just saying if you're okay."
That's starting to be scary.
It is. I'm wondering what's going on.
Who's talking?
Am I okay being here with you?
Right. You all right?
Am
That's how
I
I should
okay?
start the show instead of how you doing.
Yeah.
Hey, you all right?
You okay?
Okay, good.
You know what? Queens is full of these like Queens philosopher types where they say like these like their tone seems like they're saying something magical and profound, but really they're just going, "You okay?
Right.
You all right? The world's tough out there. You okay?"
I'm experiencing some stuff myself, and I'm just wondering if you also are going through it.
Keith, that's the answer. She just fed it to you.
Oh, you're doing stuff too? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants you to ask him, is he okay?
Right. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's like bored by it. I'm like, and you? Yeah, nothing.
But you didn't bring it up, so you don't really care if I'm okay.
You know what? Next time I see him.
Maybe you should say that first before you can even get it out. Are you okay? Thank you. Finally.
My move is, "What's wrong?" I go, "Hey, what's wrong?" And they go,
Good.
"Nothing." And I go, "That's good."
Is that's like negging or something?
Right.
You know what, Keith? Why can't people just say hi to you on the street? I don't get it. Nobody can talk to you because they don't know you.
Right. The 4th of July had 20 people got hurt from gunshots in New York City.
Gunshots.
Yeah. And 2 years ago, it was 30 people. No arrests have been made. That's the day to do it, right?
Absolutely the day to do it. I was always thinking it should be more people. It absolutely should be more people because everybody thinks the fireworks is, the sound of a gunshot is fireworks. So you could absolutely get away with more people.
Is it being upped? Like, 20 people don't get shot every day in New York, right? So are people using the sounds of the fireworks to mask it? Like,
I don't know. I just think people are using guns. Because, I hear that all the time. Like during 4th of July, people will shoot off guns. And maybe that's how, because more people have guns shooting off than more people getting shot.
Oh, like in celebration, like up in the air.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of that.
Or like the crazy thing that happened to the guy. He showing his son how to shoot at the shooting range. And then one of the cases from the gun fell on his son's shirt, and he went to pull it out of his shirt, and he still had a gun in his hand.
No.
And he shot his son.
No.
Oh my
No.
God.
Yeah.
No.
He shot his son while he was So I'm like, that has happened because that's happens. What happens when you have a gun in your hand? Like when you got a knife in your hand and you're talking to people.
Right.
You expect nobody to ever get slashed.
Oh, speaking of which, and it's totally a side note, but Andrea was at a 4th of July barbecue, and she was there. And, people come in, or they bring like cake, they brought watermelon, so you got to cut it. Somebody's got to cut it. Andrea Allen had a knife in her hand, and she goes, every time I have a knife in my hand, people feel like it's, danger is coming. And she's like, I don't understand why. And she's waving this knife as she's talking. And I'm like, Andrea, I know that like you're being ironic or whatever it is, that the word, whatever word it is that you're doing, you're still waving a knife.
Right, exactly.
And she's like, I know, hilarious, right? And I'm just like, please stop waving a knife. And she's like, seriously, I don't know what people are talking about.
Yeah, Pat was joking.
Like a 5-year-old.
It's crazy to do. What he did, and so the dad must have admitted this is how he killed his son, or there's a video camera.
No, there's a video camera.
I mean, how else would it happen? He would have to come up
No,
with
he
the
broke
best
down.
story.
He's like, I killed my son. It wasn't the gun. I killed my son. That's what he kept saying over
Right.
and over again.
And he's one of these guys, it's so safe, and I clean it every day, and I keep the bullets separate.
Well, they
Let me
were
get
at the
that for
range,
you.
so he was showing his son how to shoot and how to use the gun safely. So I guess number one rule is don't walk towards somebody with a gun pointed at
But
them.
do you know, like, I feel like parents think teaching your kid how to shoot a gun is like, I also told him how to throw and catch a ball.
Right.
But a ball, the worst thing that could happen is you hit him in the head. Like there's like odds there that are fairly good for you.
Right.
Right.
This is a gun. Go let like some But then I'm thinking like an expert's going to teach him now. An expert's going to kill my kid because a gun is
Because
still a gun.
accidents definitely happen
Yeah.
with guns.
And they feel so bad about hitting somebody with a baseball. They give you a free base. But guns, everybody gets guns. Go figure. Can I mention this, please, Vistaprint?
Yes.
They offering 500 business cards for just $9.99.
Wow.
500 business cards for $10. Holy cow. You don't even need a business. You know what I mean? Just get like 500 cards that say smile and hand them out to ladies.
You know
Or
what?
how you doing?
Yeah, how you doing?
How you
okay?
doing? You okay?
I'm going to get 500 business cards with the coffee drink that I want. And I just hand it to the barista.
Yeah.
I get the same thing every day. And then on the bottom, it'll say, my name is Cindy.
Yeah.
So, they just go for it.
They know how to spell it.
Yeah. It's so funny because I do say my name. Now I say my name is Hennessy because I'm like, let's go with the last name, right?
Right.
But when I say Cindy, A, they've asked me how to spell it.
Uh-huh.
What's the difference? And B, they spelled it with an S when they don't ask.
That's
Like
fun.
this is, you look avant-garde. You probably spell your name with an S.
I still
You
think.
can't be regular old Cindy with that face.
Right. They give
That's
you
funny.
your drink and they go, I figured.
Right.
Wink. I still think in the boardroom at Starbucks, they all got together and they said, listen, we're going to spell everyone's name wrong. And then everybody keeps talking about us.
Yeah.
Right.
Originally, Starbucks said that they would not ever have any commercials because they don't want to do that to the atmosphere or whatever it may be. Like a nice, legitimate reason, but now they're doing it.
Have you ever read Starbucks' mission statement?
Of
Daily.
course.
It's
who
the most
hasn't?
beautiful thing.
It's the Bible.
It is. It's the most beautiful. I was like, I wanna. They made me buy into that because of their mission statement. It's the most beautiful thing. It was like poetry.
You know what?
It's
My
one of the
husband,
Psalms, I think.
my husband worked at Starbucks, and they do implement a lot of those. If you have a good manager, they put a lot of those to use. Like, for example, one of the things is if somebody wants a coffee and doesn't have money, you will like just give them a coffee, and they would be ready for that because they were in Manhattan, so they just gave out. If you don't have money, they knew everybody's orders. They had a really good atmosphere because technically on paper, Starbucks really does their employees right. But if you have a bad manager, it all goes to shit, just like any other place.
Oh, right. Oh, absolutely. But just from the top coming down to the bottom, it's just a beautiful idea.
Right.
I just think.
But what are the odds you're going to have a nice manager?
I think you can if they buy into the system.
Their mission is to inspire and nurture the human spirit.
Yes.
One person,
One coffee.
one cup,
Oh.
and one neighborhood at a time.
I don't. Why are they judging me?
That
for my
is the
cup
best
size?
way of saying we're going to take over the world with coffee, bitches.
All right, so here's my point. If you want Starbucks to spell your name correctly, get 500 business cards for just $9.99. Remember this? Visit Vistaprint.com, design your custom business cards, enter code KATG at checkout. That's code KATG. And that's it. It's a chance to get that professional look on any budget. Do not wait. Go to Vistaprint.com and order today.
I'm gonna make my friends get cards that say I have a friend named Chemda.
Oscar Pistorius has been sentenced to 6 years in prison.
Wow. Okay. They came back and gave him another sentence, huh?
Yeah, that's something. And he's not appealing. Why not? If you get 17 chances, get one more in your favor.
Right.
I'd keep appealing. He took off his legs this time and went to the stand and was crying.
Oh, good
So
move.
you wouldn't feel bad about
Yeah.
it. But
How
that's
well,
when
did he take off his? How did he get to the stand? Did he crawl to the stand,
He
or did
crawled.
he take him off as he was at the stand? Like, I don't need these, and I'm gonna sit down.
He was taking them off as he walked away. We take our shoes off when we get home. You know, we're just walking and taking them off like, oh, what a day.
Oh,
What an asshole. He did the murder without the legs. He could do, you know what I mean?
He could
Don't
do so
remind me.
much.
I'd be like,
he could
no.
do so much.
Yeah, the guy who did that didn't have legs. Look at me. I'm bouncing up and down.
Another gun enthusiast.
Yeah, yeah. A South African judge sentenced Olympic sprinter Oscar Pistorius to 6 years in prison for his girlfriend's murder.
That's not bad.
Damn. Who do you want to get rid of that you give up 6 years? You're like, I got some people I could give up 6 years
Right.
for.
You ever do that? You ever look at somebody and go, how many years are you worth?
How many years?
got a couple-
If it was just,
I got a couple-
manslaughter is like just a piece of glass in a casserole or something. That's manslaughter.
Pat's looking at me different now.
Yeah. I got a couple 2-year friends, if you know what I mean.
If I could get away with just 2 years, you would be gone today, buddy.
Pistorius killed Riva Steenkamp at his home in an upscale Pretoria neighborhood in the early hours of Valentine's Day 3 years ago. A killing, he says, was an accident after he mistook her for an intruder. You remember that he got out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
You get out of bed, you don't necessarily look to see if your wife or girlfriend is laying right next to you. When you hear ruckus,
What size bed did they have?
right.
I want to know what their sleep numbers were.
Right. Not just one flat dumb number.
That sleep IQ said to that woman, "Don't go in the restroom.
Right.
Whatever you do, don't go in the restroom."
So then he puts his legs on, if I remember correctly. Instead of looking over and seeing your wife, you're messing with your legs.
Did he put his legs on?
I think no, he didn't. He didn't put his.
He
legs
didn't put his
on.
legs on.
So
I think he
so instead of
He's
crawling.
he's
hopping on
nubbing
his
it.
hands.
He's nubbing.
You know.
He can.
Wait, was he missing both legs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but he's nubbing. He can walk on those things.
Okay, but you should
Is
think
that true?
Is it
Yes, he can nub.
is it pleasurable? I mean, why wouldn't you look at your wife and go, "Hey"? Like you don't even look over. You're
Hey,
gonna.
You're supposed to look at her and say, "Hey, go see,
Yeah.
go see if there's anybody in there."
But honestly, how about this? How about, hey, sweetie pie, I'm about to shoot this gun. You're sleeping, right? Like, I'm checking for an intruder because you know you're checking for an intruder. You didn't
Right.
even assume it was your wife. So I have a gun in my hand. Wouldn't you wake up your wife if you have a gun in your hand? Keith
Yes.
Malley, I
Oh,
ask you.
absolutely.
If I wake up my wife if I hear fireworks. You know,
Which
right.
is a gun, actually.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the first thing you do. If there is an intruder, you say, you get everybody on alert.
Yeah.
Like,
I
hey,
took
duck down, or hey, call 911.
I took my gun, sweetheart, but I didn't want to wake you.
Yeah.
Because what if no one's there? I'd be so embarrassed.
I'd be
But they
so
say if
embarrassed.
you have a gun in your hand, you have to be ready to shoot. So if you have a gun in your
Right.
hand, you're ready to shoot, you tell your wife. You wake her
Right.
up. This is not like, I'm thirsty, can you get me water? This is, I have a gun in my hand.
And how many times did he shoot in the door? It
4.
was 4. Yeah.
To be sure.
And so
To be sure.
So after the first one, he didn't hear screaming.
From
Right.
the bedroom.
Yeah. But
Right.
he was busy being a hero. So what do you, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait,
And he
Danny's-
knows that she is such a deep sleeper.
Mhm.
Danny's correcting me, girlfriend, not wife. Sorry, he didn't get her the ring.
Yeah.
After he didn't give her meaning. After he mistook her for an intruder,
His version.
Right. The same judge originally convicted him of manslaughter in 2014 after months of hearings, but a higher court reversed that to murder last year. And so the judge is like, hey, look, we're back. It will be the final sentencing in a saga that started when he fired 4 bullets through his bathroom door that morning, February 2013. After nearly a 50-day trial stretched over 7 months, Pistorius was found guilty of culpable homicide September 2014. The judge ruled the sprinter had acted negligently when he shot Steenkamp, but that he didn't do it intentionally, sentencing him to 5 years in prison. He served a year of that sentence and was released to house arrest in October. That's where he's dangerous. Put him
In the
anywhere
house.
but the house. No bathrooms.
No
bathroom privileges. He has to have a bucket by his
Since
bed.
6 years in a car.
Right.
You just have to come out and just feed him like it's a drive-through.
No, his bathroom has to be like a horse door. Like half of it could be open.
Yeah,
So you
so-
could always see if someone's inside.
Right.
Yeah, but you're just the head, so you can poop openly. It's fine.
Hey, this is good news for the Ku Klux Klan that
Yes.
they can adopt a highway.
They can adopt a highway. I just read that too.
Here in Georgia, the ACLU sued on behalf of the Klan group. There's not enough to complain about.
Damn that ACLU.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, but I agree with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
What can we do? We let
Yeah,
them have a highway. I'm not going to be
yeah.
able to have a podcast if we stop their highway. Right? Freedom
Yeah,
of speech is freedom of speech.
I mean, they're allowed to congregate. They're allowed to have a group meeting. They're allowed to register their name. They're allowed to accept checks
Mhm.
under that name. So they're allowed to adopt a highway and post that name. Atheists are allowed to do it. People who believe in Jesus Christ, remember him? Remember God, the person who destroyed everybody on earth? He's allowed to adopt a highway.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
But that's the scariest shit ever. Well, where is it? It's in
Georgia.
Georgia, right? Scariest shit. I'm
Yeah.
from Georgia, Atlanta. So to be driving down a highway late at night, and then you say it says Klan Highway, and you're a black person, you're like, God,
Yeah.
I made a wrong turn.
But there are some people who feel that way, and I know about the church because they've been molested their whole life. How many of those are supposed to happen until like you take Jesus Christ off our billboards as well?
I agree, but I'd still rather be on Church Highway.
I'd rather be on. There's some.
No, I get
It's a
that.
lot more. The agenda for Church Highway isn't to fuck little boys.
Right.
Yeah, the agenda for KKK is
There are.
is a little different.
Roseanne Barr says Bill Cosby is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to exposing comedy's abusers.
Just the tip. Is she saying something to us?
Mm-hmm. She's funny till the end. It's not just Bill Cosby. Some of the biggest comics, males, are doing some terrible things, and they're about to get busted. And there's several women who went with it with Bill Cosby. 60 women, of course, came out already, at least. Yeah, I know them, she says. No, they didn't ever come forward. I understand why they don't, but I've known for a long, long time, everyone knows. Another high-profile comic, she predicts, quote, is about to get busted. I've been speaking up. It's Louis C.K., knocking the door and masturbating in front of women, comics, and writers. I can't tell you, I've heard so many stories. Not just him, but a lot of them, and it's just par for the course. It's just shit women have to put up with. And I was amazed talking to some female comics that have, if it didn't happen to them, they definitely heard the story. Like
About
it's-
Louis C.K. and
Yeah.
his
Yeah,
jackass.
that is disappointing. I've never heard that story. Except when the young lady had it on her podcast or whatever.
Right.
And then that brought it-
Kirkman, right? Jen Kirkman gives these clues where it's obviously Louis C.K.
Right.
But then she said specifically on Twitter, it's not.
Right.
Yeah.
And took it off
Yeah.
her
Right.
thing. Like,
Yeah.
That's
you
a
know,
little
and I see her
pressure.
on Twitter too, and she's a big women's rights person.
Yeah. But I mean, you can get a lot of pressure from, his people and all that to do that.
sure.
Yeah. That just is very disappointing. I just don't really want to know about.
Yeah.
No. This is what I was about to say. If it is true, I want it to come out. But it's so sad sometimes when these figures that you really admire as professionals in their own right, just excellent comics. Because I'm a fan of Bill Cosby. It's his stand-up, not his rapes.
Oh shoot. I'm like, gonna
Although
let
I'm
her
sure he
finish.
was very good at those too. He got 60 off without anybody realizing
Right.
it. But just that they are so incredibly great comedians, and then they're
It's not
They're
just that
shitty individuals. They're shitty people.
It's not that they're making us laugh. They're making us laugh by expressing such empathy towards other people.
Oh, especially CK. Yeah, absolutely.
Louis C.K., you feel like when he's standing there, he's telling your story. No matter how big he gets, he seems very down to earth. So you want to believe that if you're able to construct a joke that has so much sensitivity and a great storyline that it makes you feel like you understand that somebody else won't want to be trapped by your dick in your hand. Like you just assume that if you're that, it's not that you're funny.
Yeah,
it's not.
But
just
it's
funny.
something about trapping women with your dick in your hand that must be so powerfully good that it overrides all that.
It's knowing that they can't tell anybody. I mean, of all the people that do it in front of them, you're doing it in front of people that tell personal stories for a living.
Exactly.
But
that's the power. I think that's the power issue that comes into play with both of these guys. You know, they played on women that were vulnerable.
Danny Hatch is making it clear that Jen Kirkman did not say it wasn't Louis, but yes, she did take that podcast down, which kind of bummed me out.
I understand it though. I mean, when you are a small fish and you know the powers that be have money and just can make a phone call to scare the shit out you in terms of.
She used to open for him, right, Danny?
Yeah,
she used to be. She toured with him, right?
I don't think it needs to be the powers of that be to ask you to take it down. I think it could just be I told the truth, and then everyone decided to attack me.
That's true
and
too.
and that's just too much because you can tell the truth, and everyone goes, you're ruining our community. You don't even know the story. You weren't even there. Or whatever it is. In this case, she was.
Are you ruining our well fabricated beliefs that this guy is a good guy?
Yeah,
and we don't want you to. We don't want you to destroy that image of him.
And you might not want to deal with that. So it might have just come from I'm exhausted. I did not want to. I wanted to speak the truth. I did not want to stand on a platform for the rest of my life just speaking about this one guy's dick. I don't want to do it. That's not my career.
Right.
Last July, Roseanne tweeted about the Louis C.K. Accusations. I have zero idea if #CK is a sexual offender or not.
She's one to talk. She had me in a room and showed me her titties.
See?
Yeah.
Sorry, who's this?
Roseanne Barr.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's somebody else.
Oh. Who showed you her titties?
That was not Roseanne's titties. I'm sorry, Roseanne. Right.
Was it a power play? Like, look at my fucking titties?
I wish a woman would do that for me.
There are multiple accusations in Hollywood's working women's circles. He should answer. Louis C.K. has recently said about the accusations, I don't care about that. That's nothing to me. That's not real. Well, you can't touch stuff like that, he says when pressed for more. There's one more thing I want to say about this, and it's important. If you need your public profile to be all positive, you're sick in the head. I do the work I do, and what happens next, I can't look after. So my thing is that I try to speak to work whenever I can. I just do the work and not to my life.
Seemed like he crafted that statement with his dick in his hand.
Yeah. Type with both hands.
The thing is he's right because he doesn't have to respond to this because it's not his job. He only has to respond if somebody accuses him to the police. This thing does not have to affect him other than he just needs to be quiet for a while and then it goes away. He only has to answer to the law.
Yeah, it just stays in the rumor mill.
Right.
Rumor mill. Yeah.
I wouldn't say if they go, Keith, a lot of women are saying you're taking your dick out, masturbating at them. Look, if your personality is 100% perfect with everybody, that's just odd. Sorry. Some people have flaws, right? And this seems to be mine. No, I would go, I dare these women to come forward. That's what I would do. I dare you.
Nah, you would. That's horrible.
No, why is it horrible?
Because that almost isn't a threat in itself. Yeah. I dare you to come to me because I'm going to make your life a living hell. It almost implies that.
You already have that position on them. They're already not daring to say. Saying I dare you to say to a person who says that they're your victim.
Yeah, you're my victim. Say my name on your podcast. Don't him and haw about it.
I get your point. Your point is that I'm innocent, so I am.
I'd say something. Yeah,
I'm adamant about my innocence. But if you aren't innocent and you have also that same kind of mindset, it sounds like a threat. almost to a woman. That is.
I don't care. Fuck them. Right? I didn't take my
no,
dick
you don't
out.
fuck them. You just put your dick in your hand. You don't fuck them. That would be a whole nother charge.
Goodness.
All right, let me mention this. ComedianPatBrown.com. That's the website. And coming July 12th, that's where you get the Pat Brown sex tape.
That is where you get the Pat Brown sex tape.
That's right.
For free, everybody. You can actually watch the Pat Brown sex tape for free.
Well, that's horrible
An
marketing.
hour worth of comedy. But that's all I need from you. I want you to subscribe and tell as many people as you possibly can. Because the whole thing is people don't know me. I'm funny. I've been funny for years, but people don't know me. And so I've moved from Atlanta to New York and trying to set up my shop here. So I'm not in the group yet. So I want as many people to find out about me as possible. So that's why I'm making it free for the first month. Okay. Just go to my website. And you can actually, if you subscribe to my website, you can see my whole album for free for the month of July to August 12th.
Look at that. And seriously, though, when are you having children? TikTok.
The answer is on the website. Subscribe.
I'm so caught up with all these dicks and hands that
you don't need
it's
more people.
It's about to happen as soon as I get them out the hand.
The Twitter account is at Pat Brown Show, at Pat Brown Show. And that's that.
Let her know you know her.
Yeah.
Because now we all know her.
Pat, this was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. This was so fun, informative, and great. And who's the guy with the music? I love that song. I want
Brother
that song.
Love.
Brother Love.
Yeah.
I like Brother Love.
You can look up Them Vibes and get those albums. I think he
that's the name of it, Them Vibes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I think he charges like an asshole, but it's good music. KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. It's every show we've ever done, including a spin-off shows. We're very excited about the new shows that are coming as well. In fact, I'm recording My Name is Keith tomorrow with Jason Burke.
And we just recorded with Nick Turner, the first of the guest host Flavor of the Month, where we give a comedian 1 month of podcasting for our VIP members. And they do whatever theme they want. They have whatever guests they want, and they're the host for a month.
During your show or
during it? We have to be quiet for 10 minutes. No, it's a totally separate show.
Oh, okay. I was about
the
to
way
say, you're giving your show away for
the way
the whole month.
Sorry. The way you get those extra shows is by going to KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. You become a member and you get everything in our catalog. And also it supports the show very, very much. So thank you to all our VIP members and to everyone who spreads the word. We appreciate it.